what I'd like to begin with this recap first is to really think about ways that we can help the community explore mindfulness and the arts. Do you guys have some ideas on ways we can begin to talk this up, whether it's through writing content, newsletters, podcasts, etc.? Because I think you gentlemen really hit on some really strong points this morning. What are your thoughts around how do we immerse the community around this topic and really get people to address trauma? Because trauma is real, and especially as you pointed out, Sir Ervin, about your book, Mr. Duplicity, and the wearing of masks. We've got to get our people to a place where they're not walking around wearing a mask, dealing with trauma. What are some thoughts around that? What are some ways we can help,
I think, I'm a radical teacher, and I don't care about saying, I tell every principal before they hire me, I am unorthodox, but I work. Look at my test scores. I know what I'm doing. We have to transform the entire educational system. We cannot keep turning our children over to people who don't have their best interests in them. African Americans are 13% of the population. Every Black male, every Black woman can go into education. We still do not have enough African American teachers. It's just simple as that. And you cannot address an issue that people think don't exist. If you are in education, if you are in mentorship, if you work with the youth, you understand what's coming. These kids are brilliant. They are fighters. They are warriors, but nobody has taught them how to communicate, how to practice empathy, how to deal with their trauma, and they don't have any wherewithal. Our generation is the microwave generation. We want everything fast. We want it right now. We don't have time to wait for you to do something for us. So one of my biggest things, one of the things that I'm definitely going to do is build that school, that community center that's not dependent on government money to educate Black children specifically. We have to start with education. We have to start with education, not just with our children, but with the parents in the house, because our parents have every right to maintain their dignity. And what a great deal of people that don't want to address is the literacy rate that's in the households. I can't teach my child something that I don't have. So parents have to have a safe space where they can come and they can get these resources in these classes, and they're free, where they can help children with. I can't send a package home and tell a parent to read and work this out with their child, and their parent don't know how to read. And they can't admit to their 10, 11-year-old child that they can't do basic math. So we have to get in a way where we're structurally changing the way we educate people and the way that we treat poor parents, in particularly, the way we treat them in the educational system. We have to change that.
Okay, Dr. Johnson, at the adult level, I like the fact that you was able to address the K through 12 system, Sir Ervin, but what can we do to get this information out so we can start healing our community?
Are you meaning through a social media platform?
Media platforms, content development, because I'm really interested in making sure we stop at just constantly sharing the videos on Facebook, but examining what that long-term impact is and getting people into places and spaces where they could begin to address what has happened with them and become whole and healthy people.
Right. I think that we can create more video product that's a training model for our people, specifically geared towards Black people. For example, some of the videos I create, I would like to make those videos be educational in the sense that the adults understand the importance of what mindfulness is, and they have now people that actually are going through the experience, living the experience, and sharing with the audience, through testimonials, that this thing really does work, and this is what it's helping me to do. It's helping me to be aware of my kid. I'm passing this on to my kids. I mean, when I meditate, my kids meditate, and my kids meditate when I don't even meditate, because I raised my kids in a mindfulness setting. So we are very visual people, because like you said, the microwave era. And this video approach, and through media, I think would be very effective for the adults to understand the power of mindfulness and how they can place it in their lives to be able to achieve and also overcome a lot of the struggles and traumas that they are experiencing. So I think that now we have this cool thing going on, perfect timing to really, really, I mean, because we have people at home right now, adults that are stressing about a lot of stuff, because of COVID. Really kind of, just this economy and our movements are just all altered, and we're not used to this. I mean, everybody walk around like they are in one of those movies of the last days of on the planet, and this is unusual for everyone. So what are we doing to address that in our communities? I mean, so pretty much our people would have the tendency to say, well, forget this. I'm going to go do what I want to do, right? Yeah. And just go out and don't be mindful of wearing the mask. See, mindfulness will say, I need to wear this mask everywhere I go, and also my kids to wear it too. So mindfulness will create this practice that we are taking care of ourselves. I think that through social media, the videos, the training videos, I think they would be very effective in our community to help them understand the process. And once they understand what the meaning and other families would do it too. Okay. So you have your friends doing it, and they say, hey, you should try this.
All right, Dr. Johnson, you still with us?
I think he's freezing.
Yeah, he did freeze. Okay.
Did we freeze?
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, are we running? Is your battery full?
Yeah, I'm full. I mean, I got a full. I got all my bars up.
Okay, cool. All right, we can edit portions. Yeah. The last maybe 10 seconds was frozen. But yeah, definitely. These are great next steps, things to think about to begin creating some really rich content so we can further this discussion and put it into the communities. Because I just think that I'm really interested in making sure that they also have this on the front end, like the question I asked you about preventative. Before you get into that encounter, practicing how you're going to respond. Where are you going to place yourself in that moment, is important.
And I think, I'm sorry. I was saying, I think that,
if you practice.
I think he's freezing again. I was saying, I think that what you were saying, like we have to, I think the biggest problem, not the problem, but the issue is getting people to understand that there's an issue in the first place. We've been taught to bring everything to the Lord. We place it in God's hand. There's nothing going on with me. I'm as normal as I can be. But we look around our family and we see bipolar, we see schizophrenic, we see all of that, but nobody's addressing it. So we can put all the content in the world out there. But if people don't watch it or don't have the wherewithal to come get it, and it's one of my favorite quotes is by Frederick Douglass when he say, I would rather raise healthy children than repair broken men. Like the thing about being broken is that some of us don't know we're broken. Like this is how I've been living my entire life. You cannot tell me that I'm broken. So how do we get, and I tell people all the time, because it's great, we can have Dr. Johnson, yourself, myself, we can be in the room, we can talk about this category, this subject for hours. Now it's our job to make sure that the Tyrones and the Pookies and the Cousin Treys and all of them come to the meeting with us. Right. We have to start bringing them. We can't keep preaching to the choir. Because see, one of the things that you're making me think about is maybe we have to start at the basic level of identifying what that looks like. Because if they're so disconnected from their experiences and trauma, maybe they don't even know how to identify what's going on with them and what it looks like. How to pinpoint that they need assistance.
Yeah, well, that would be a more coming from so we have this thing now where we have a bunch of Black psychologists, that are now innovating this whole idea about Black psychology. Because white psychology doesn't have a place for us. It doesn't work. Really, I've tried it all. I tried to use those methodologies, and I just was doing a test run. I already knew, just by studying it, it's not applicable to our experiences. Yeah. So psychology is that. So they don't know the trauma is there. They are living as normalized because their parents live as normalized. No different than individuals that live in public housing. you know, the next generation live in public housing. And that is the way of, you know, to go. And that's the way they have been kind of bred to believe. So there's a psychotherapy process that's African centered, right? So African centric psychotherapy to be able to go back and get that pain, collect that, so we can take those people back to that pain that they, because many times people stop growing when the trauma started or the trauma ended, right? So we have 60-year-old men that really stopped growing at 6 years old, and I've encountered those men in some of my sessions. You know, they vicariously, you know, as an adult, they got all the other covering like the old men, but really that pain never got dealt with, and it still plays out into their 60-year-old life, and it's very dysfunctional. It's caused them to miss all kind of opportunities. It's caused them to have all kind of other issues and, you know, troubles. And so we have a lot of you know, our young people that are also caught up in that pain too. And so we can go through the process backwards and have them to go get that. And we can build that around racial trauma, because really the real diagnosis, in my opinion, in this country is racism that relates to Blacks. Yes. So there needs to be a modality to treat racism and oppression, because that's our sickness.
Right. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for this behind the scenes recap.